Hey guys, and welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. Last episode we were finally able to automate the kinetic mechanisms, which is the final quest in chapter 1. Well, not the final quest, technically rubber is afterwards, which we also managed to set up here. Although between episodes I have kind of rebuilt this processing. So before we ran into the issue of the hopper underneath this basin, pulling out the rubber before it was smelted by the encased fan. I don't know how I never thought of this before, but we can actually just output the basin, which will only spit out items once it's done processing. So that is going on to a depot, and then that is being pulled by an andesite funnel into a locked drawer, which will only accept the cured rubber here. I also did rebuild this iron farm. I had a lot of trouble with this yesterday. But yeah, I managed to get everything sped up properly, and I think it looks a bit cleaner. We're also now buffering cobblestone, which could do with a void upgrade actually. And I also added this sort of trash can, so to say, on the end of our wood belt. Since these drawers are full, we still haven't upgraded the drawers, but any excess wood here used to just be tossed off the edge and we'd have a ton of entities sitting here. Well, they now just go into a chute of lava. But the iron farm has been running very nicely here. I've already picked up about 10 stacks of iron nuggets from this. And we'll need the iron today for our hammer at least. We've got a lot more digging to do today. I'd like to start by getting all this area here cleared. So I mentioned last episode about these shipments, basically the trading system inside this pack. I'll explain a little bit more later, but yeah, we're going to be rich today. We're going to hopefully be making tons and tons of silver. Alright, step 1, clear an area out. Next thing we have to do is gather all of the mechanisms and create machines we're going to need for this contraption. So we'll need some radial chassis. I made some harvesters, some barrels, a couple of portable storage interfaces. Hello creeper. So what we are going to be doing with this space is actually setting up a bunch of farms here. And I haven't quite decided what exactly we're going to farm yet. We have a couple of different options actually. This tab in the quest book shows us all the different options we actually have. So we're going to be picking up a profession. So taking on a profession gives you access to some of the most consistent sources of income. So we don't necessarily have to do the farming profession. And in fact, I think we may end up doing some more in the future just to have some fun with it really. There's some other interesting options, like you can sell mob drops for silver. You could be a fisherman. But the profession we're going to do today is farming, and we have 12 pages of recipes of options of things we want to farm. We could even sell some of our kelp, which we're already farming, but the thing I'm leaning towards is sweet berries, since all of these other options have to take some other processing step, maybe with the exception of cocoa beans. I think almost everything else we have to process before we trade it. Like for example the apples, we would have to craft these into a crate. Same with carrots, and same with potatoes and rice, etc. So I think we're going to go with a pretty much exactly the same design as our kelp farm here, except it's going to be much, much bigger. We're going to do a 7 block radius. I'm not sure how many layers we're going to go for this. We'll start off with 1, set up the processing, and then probably expand it further. So it's going to look something like this, where the radial chassis spins in a circle. We can actually just put a second layer straight on top of this one like this, and then put the next row of harvesters on here, and just keep infinitely stacking this thing. Well, maybe not infinitely. I think we'll be limited by our power generation, which is something I still have to figure out. Okay, so I think I got phase 1 of this this farm operational. What you're seeing here, at least for this processing line, is going to be temporary. But right now we have 2 layers on the sweetberry farm. I moved this portable storage interface up to the second layer, but because it's all one radial chassis, it all counts as one contraption. This thing can actually import from the bottom layer as well. So those go from the interface into a chute, then into a drawer. Then we have a belt from the drawer over there, taking them all the way up here, and into the trade station. So the trade station is how we actually make the trades to obtain our silver. So it costs us 8 sweet berries for 1 silver coin. And you might also notice here that it also costs 1000 RF. And we haven't made RF yet in this pack, so for this we use a Stirling generator. And both of these items, by the way, we got from a quest. So I believe it's this quest here in the shipments tab. We can pay 30 silver coins to get 1 trade station and 1 Stirling dynamo. So the Stirling dynamo will burn basically any combustible fuel. We have it right now burning dark oak logs. And long term, I don't think we want to be using Stirling dynamos for the power. So if we follow this wood line down, it goes all the way down to where andesite's coming up. And then this is actually joined onto a weighted ejector. And this thing will actually launch the items in an arc. Maybe if we stand here. Oh yeah, we kinda saw it there, but yeah. We can just launch items. But yeah, this has been running for several hours by now actually. And we have 17 stacks of silver coins, which is crazy. With only two layers on the farm here, and 1 trade station. But several hours for these many silver coins is not going to be enough for us long term. So eventually we want loads and loads more trade stations. But to handle so many items, we're going to want access to the brass machines, right? And plus to craft the trade stations, we need brass machines. Which is something we've been talking about for the last couple of episodes. So I think we're going to put our little farming silver coin on pause. And I really would like to get these brass machines up and running. I wanted just to start that project and have it passively generate us silver coins for when we need them. Even if it is just a small amount, it's better to get that going. But yeah, right now I'm going to clear a little space on this side and we'll start our chapter 2 automations right here. Alright, we got some space cleared. I suspect we'll need more, but I think we're going to run into a few more issues before we need the space. So let's just start and see where this takes us. So the goal of chapter 2 is to make these precision mechanisms. This is also going to take a sequenced assembly, this time with electron tubes. So I think what we'll do to start us off here, just to keep this looking symmetrical, we'll have our output drawer here for the sealed mechanisms and we'll work backwards from here. So then we'll do a belt similar to the other side where our sequenced assembly is going to be. I hope I brought everything with me. I did pre-craft a lot of the create machines and things. Hello zombie. So we'll have our 3 deployers on this belt. Of course they're upside down. So these will be for our electron tubes and then the screwdriver instead of the saw. And actually, what is the input item? Oh, this takes kinetic mechanisms. I didn't actually realise this. Yeah, so we're going to have to feed these kinetic mechanisms through this sequenced assembly. Maybe we reverse this. In that case, we have the output on this side. Yeah, so I reversed everything, and for now we're just going to... I mean, we will eventually hook this up to have some logic to determine if we have enough of these, then send them over to this line and create the next step. But for now, we'll just manually fill this chest, and then it will be processed by the deployers. So next for the electron tubes, we need polished rose quartz and molten iron for this. Which means we'll have to handle fluids again, so we'll need a few spouts. We'll have to have some way to melt the iron as well. And there's a few different molten items we need in chapter 2, so I think we'll actually make seared melters for each different type of ingot. We'll have to make up the spouts, which cost the copper casings, and this was from our rubber that we automated last episode. I think that I'm also counting 3 different mixers that we're going to need. I mean, I'm looking ahead quite a lot here, but we need 1 to mix the polished red quartz, we need 1 for destabilized redstone, and we need 1 for Volitile Sky Solution. You know what, we'll just batch craft, we'll make extra. There's 6 mechanical mixers. Okay, so since we're working backwards, I've started hooking up the next part of our production line. If we look at the last quest in the chapter here, we have to make electron tubes with the iron. So that is what this is going to be for. The belt's going to be going this way. And then we'll put a brass tunnel right here. We don't have access to those right now, but yeah, I think a lot of these setups are going to require brass machines of some sort to be able to round robin and whatnot, as there's a few different looped setups we have to make here. So I think we'll leave a space here for the electron tubes, which we can then andesite casing from here, and then they will be placed here. Although maybe we should move this over 1 block. Yeah, let's move the spout over a block, and that way we can andesite funnel from the drawer. So we'll have a little small buffer of electron tubes here. As for the molten iron, I think we'll fluid tank over this way. We'll have to be careful of this belt that's going to be here, and then we'll do seared heater, seared melter, and then that we can cast into a tank with a seared faucet. I'm still going to have to figure out some sort of redstone clock. Actually, you know what? Do we even need the faucet? Can we maybe just go straight from the melter? I'm not sure if that's going to be fast enough, to be honest, but I mean, it should, right? We just need to make sure we have a mechanical pump on this. Wrong way. So we will have to feed this iron and also fuel. For now though, we're just going to manually fill this. And we'll also grab manually the iron from our iron farm here. We will also have to start thinking about rotational energy. And thank you for your comments, by the way, on your feedback, what we should do about that thing. I think we will centralize some of the power, although apparently we get access to, is it these things? The furnace engines, once we have brass. So I think maybe we'll look into those, but for now I'm going to extend this water wheel, And then we'll send the rotation probably underneath this path here, and then up to all of this setup. Okay, so I added in some extra water wheels to increase our stress capacity. Then this goes underneath through some shafts and then connected to some cogs. This goes up via multiple gearboxes here. But all the belts are spinning the right way. We want this one going this way, and we want an input belt here for the mechanisms. We are going to leave some space here for an iron input belt for this melter, but we're not going to worry about that like I said. At the moment, we are just going to manually feed this with iron. Oh wait a second, we do also have to power this pump. I think we can just bring up 2 cogs like this. You can make these see-through as well. Oh, that looks so cool. I love that feature. Okay, so we're getting iron in our spout. The next step is to think about this polished rose quartz. And this is where one of our mixers is going to come into play. So I think we'll have to place this one off the belt. Yeah, and then we can extend the belt along like this. Yeah, so the output of the basin will come out of the spout and then be buffered into the drawer. Inputs will be from another andesite funnel. Although we do also have to think about if we have a spillage of iron. If this drawer ever ends up full, then irons are going to get tossed off the edge. I wonder if this would work actually, rather than placing a full block here. I mean, I guess we'll find out soon enough. So yeah, next step is the polished rose quartz. We need pure Certus or pure nether quartz along with destabilized redstone. So in this pack there is a custom recipe here for the sequenced assembly. If we use a spout with water here, we can use the seed to actually grow the crystal, and then there is a milling recipe to turn that back into the dust, which we can then craft back into the seed and grow it, and yeah, we end up with an infinite cycle of these things, so long as we supply water. Oh, and also sand, which we'll come back to later on, I think. Hello, zombie. This is happening a lot these days. A lot of you guys suggested these reliquary items, which we will get to. There's so many things you have to do still. I'd like to upgrade the tools, get some quality of life things, but yeah, after brass. Don't worry, we will get to all that fun stuff. Okay, so I think I got this this spout of water set up for the Certus. We need an infinite water source, and we'll need a few of these actually. We may be able to just take from this one. But this is just a mechanical pump on a water source block. We are grabbing the power here from underneath, which is taken from this line here. We just have a shaft going along here, some vertical gearboxes, and that powers the pump. That then puts the water into 4 different spouts here. So this is where our Certus Quartz is going to go around, and I was going to put a brass tunnel here, but I was just checking JEI there, and we missed the crushing step. So we have to crush it to dust before we send it back into this loop. And I don't think there's enough space for a crusher right here, so I'm going to have to move all this back a block or 2. Alright, very slight redesign here, but to get this process started we do need 1 dust at least. So I believe we do have some Certus Quartz. Oh yeah, we've got plenty of Certus Quartz here. I'm going to put this through our millstone for now. Oh, there's already some red sand in here. Yeah, let's bulk wash a lot of this. I've been doing this manually for our gold. We can get a chance at some gold nuggets if we wash red sand. And while I was redesigning that thing, I realised that we don't actually need to crush it. Once we grow this thing and we have the pure Certus, we can actually mechanical craft this into 2 seeds, right? So this is what we're going to split off. We don't need to do the grind step. So we just have to combine this once to craft our seed up. And we'll need a mechanical crafter. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, of course, this takes brass machines. So it does. Okay, so yeah, maybe we should just get this going once. So there is actually a recipe. I didn't realise this before, but there is a recipe to do this by hand. If we have rose quartz, we can use quite a lot of redstone to get this process started. And then sandpaper polish this, which is just sand and paper. We should have some sugarcane here, which we've been farming since episode 1. We do have to throw this through the mechanical press though, there's no shapeless recipe. Alright, I'm not sure if this sandpaper has durability or not. So do we just shapeless craft with this sandpaper? No. Oh, it's in the offhand. Oh, that's... Why are we eating it? Oh, this is very strange. Okay, it looks like it does 8 rose quartz, that's fine. Let's do a little bit more. So this polished rose quartz is what we're going to lock in this drawer, so let's just take this opportunity to do that actually. Oh, and it looks like it's already working with the iron we melted down. We're getting the electron tubes, although that is going to the wrong place. That is not where we want this thing. This belt has to be extended by 1, I think. Yeah, we have to extend this belt out 1 block. Oh no, we can't because this is on an angle, right? Maybe we can just place a depot there then. Yeah, I think if we raise a depot off the floor, I hope that should work. Does that get placed on? It does, okay, yeah. And then we can just andesite funnel out this side, and that'll get placed in the hopper. Let's also take this opportunity to filter these deployers for only these electron tubes. And the last one will need a screwdriver. Oh, and you guys also pointed out that we can get unbreakable tools from this. Yeah, these things right here in the shipments tab, we can get an infinite durability saw, and we can get the unbreakable screwdriver for the precision mechanisms. I think that's definitely something we'll want to pick up. But for now, we'll just give the deployer the screwdriver. And then once we load this with kinetic mechanisms... Oh right, we need power for these deployers as well. Can we then actually just place a bunch of cogs up here? Like so? It looks a little bit strange like that, to be honest, but it works. And same on this side. Split the electron tubes between these two deployers. I guess we'll have to clear the belt. Oh yeah, look at that. Our first chapter 2 precision mechanisms. We do need an andesite funnel though, which allows us to put it into the drawer. That is only 7 though, which is not enough for a casing. I'm going to make a few more up manually, and then we can craft our crafter for this next step. Oh yeah, of course, the machine actually takes brass itself. We missed the most important step here. So to get brass, we have to mix the copper and zinc. And I was thinking a lot about how we're going to automate these materials, since like there's no digital miner or anything. But I think what the solution is for this is we're going to use our silver coins, which is why it was so important to get those up and running. And with the silver coins, we can just buy copper and zinc, although we do still have to set up the mixing step for this. Just to get us started though, we're going to mix up some just manually using our Tinker Smeltery. Yeah, so this mixer we already had set up since, I think, episode 1 actually. This is going to mix us up some brass. And with some very, very spaghetti fluid pipes, we're going to take the output of this basin back into our smeltery. And now we can see we have some brass made up, which we can cast into ingots, press down into sheets, and be able to craft our first, 16 brass casings, combined with the precision mechanisms, and we have our brass machines, finally! Although not automated, this allows us to get the first few things that we need to finish this process. First of which being... Oh man, we want so many of these. We need the brass tunnel. I think we want the crafter first though for Certus, which just takes a crafting table. Oh, it gives us 3. Oh, that's very generous. Alright, check out this craziness right here. Trying to just see what the best way to explain all this is. We're not quite finished with the chapter 2 automations. This is only about 3/4 of it. But let's start with the adjustments I've made since you've seen it last. So I moved these spouts again for this water, which cycles the Certus Quartz around these belts. We're then using the 2 brass tunnels here. This first brass tunnel here has a filter to only allow pure Certus to pass to the next one, which then has a round robin mode. With the wrench, you can select round robin. That will force it to split the items between these 2 belts evenly. So half of the pure Certus is going to be mixed with Destabilized Redstone, which we'll get to. And the other half is sent on this belt, through this andesite funnel, and into a mechanical crafter. Which is kind of hard to see right now, but that is basically handling this shapeless recipe here to duplicate our crystals, which then auto-output to the bottom of the belt, and then are buffered in this barrel here, and cycled around to be filled with water again. If the Certus Quartz seeds ever get to this brass tunnel and they're not pure, they will be forced onto this weighted ejector, which ejects them into the chute, and starts the cycle again for them to be filled with water. And in fact, you know what? We can probably even fit another one here. Yeah, we'll just have to change this pipe around. Yeah, extra efficiency. So if we look at our quest book now, we can tick off all of this left-hand side. The next part of this is to get Skystone. So I did have to go and find a meteor for the Skystone itself. However, there is once again a duplication recipe in this pack. If we check the crushing or milling recipes for Skystone, we get 100% chance from 1 Skystone to get the stone back and also the dust, which we can just infinitely mill, which is what we have going on here. It has stopped because there's nowhere for this dust to go, so we may have to add in a buffer right here, probably before the tunnel. But once again, this brass tunnel does have a filter on here. This time you can see, you just have to right click the items. So all of the skystone blocks will be sent back into the mills, and all of the dust will be passed on to this basin. This basin here also grabs the water from the water pump. And here we are mixing this recipe here for Volitile Sky Solution. Then from the basin we are using a smart fluid pipe to allow us to filter the Sky Solution out. If we would just put a regular pipe here and let the pump pull anything, then it could pull out the water before it mixes to the Sky Solution. But right now that's currently where we're up to. To do any more with this Sky Solution, we are going to need charged Certus Quartz crystals. Please tell me we have at least one. If we have one, I'm going to be so happy. Oh, there's one. Okay, nice. Yeah, so with this, we only need the one. As once we process this recipe, we do get the uncharged back. So all we have to do is actually charge it and then fill it back in this basin for it to be mixed into the Destabilized Redstone. But for us to be able to charge it, we're going to need, well, RF and also Fluix. So I'm hoping this is default recipe. Yes, okay. Oh yeah, speaking of applied energistics actually, check this out. We got an ME interface from some randominium ore. I really didn't even recognise the item either. I mean, I can't say I'm actually a fan of the new texture either. I don't know if I like this. I think I prefer the 1.12 ME interface. But that's still cool regardless. Hello Creeper. Anyways, yeah, with our Fluix crystal we can create the charger to be able to charge our Certus Quartz. And if nothing's changed with the charger, we will need some sort of power source. I'm going to make a Stirling Dynamo for now. But the Stirling Dynamo is not something we're going to use long term. So yeah, we want charged Certus in this basin here. And what I'm thinking we do here is actually put a depot. That allows us to put a belt funnel to import the items. And I'm not sure if one charger is going to be enough. But for right now, we're just going to place it like this. We'll need a hopper underneath. I don't know if I have one here. There's so much inventory is a mess without applied energistics. Yeah, so we can hopper out at the bottom of the charger. And for now, we'll just place the Stirling Dynamo right here. We can manually feed this. And if I remember right, this is actually a sided machine, which means we have to input the top. Let's just grab another hopper for this. Again, we will be changing this setup. Okay, are we charging? I don't know. Maybe the sides are wrong on this. Oh, I see. Power has to be in the top side, I guess. Yeah, now we're getting our Certus Quartz, which is missing the mechanical mixer above. We'll have to give this some power as well. Oh, I did also have to add some extra water wheels, as we became overstressed whenever I added those bottom belts down there. That said though, can we still just grab the power from here? That would be really ideal if we can. Nope, we're overstressed. Okay. I am slowly getting the hang of this mod. It took me long enough, but I think we're getting there. We're learning. And this gives us Destabilized Redstone, awesome. Which has to go where? Yeah, that basin right there. So we can run some fluid pipe across. I deliberately put it in line here. We will need a pump for this though. And let's think about what the easiest way to power this is. If we place it this way, all the cogs are going the opposite way, which is unfortunate. This has really stumped me actually. There's probably something very obvious I'm missing here on how to power this pump. But we can't connect it to this line, otherwise we're overstressed. So it means we have to take it from here. Ah. Okay, got it. Had to move this pump back a block. And that means that we can fit a little gearbox below this basin. And we can put the pump where we originally had it. Make sure it's going the right way though. And let's not cause a spillage. Oh no, wait a sec. Wait, we need a smart filter for this, don't we? Yeah, we need a smart filter right here and a bucket of destabilized redstone. Oh, I pulled out the Sky Solution now. Okay, filters are set. We should now be mixing our... Actually, I already forgot what we're making here. That is then being filled around here. We need a brass tunnel here to round robin, which should split them between the two hoppers. And... oh, we ran out of charged Certus. That's right, we have to deal with the byproduct here and send it back into the charger. Okay, so some things have changed over. I've freed up the space on the left-hand side, which should allow us to put a belt in here. It should create the little spout for the outputs. Or maybe we need the funnel? Ah, yeah, we need an andesite funnel for this, since it's technically an input item. And the destabilized redstone is the outputs. And then we just need one more funnel on the charger to import it. I hope we can import from the front here. Put a trapdoor on the end, just so that it doesn't fly everywhere. And does this import, if we have this the right way? Yes, it does. Nice. Yeah, so this Certus should just infinitely get looped around like this, waiting for space in the basin to be mixed. And we have redstone automated. Alright, let's start ticking off our quest book here. So we have the skystone dust, we have the Sky Solution, We have the charged Certus. We have Destabilized Redstone. We need a bucket of it though. And it appears our bottleneck is the Skystone dust. Yeah, we're waiting on these millstones here. So I'll have to add a buffer in here so that it's producing even when it doesn't need to be. And I think later on we actually get access to grindstones, which are better than the millstones. So we may swap this out for the grindstones later on. Oh, you know what? This andesite funnel actually has to be brass. We have to be able to filter the output so that it doesn't pull out the charged. I noticed there's a piece of charged right here, and that was what was causing everything to get stuck. So if we filter this for the regular Certus here, I have to clear the jam, I think. Yeah, bucket of redstone, that'll get our quest. The polished rose quartz we already have since we started from the bottom. We do need to pick up one of these things for our quest. Just gotten very smoothly today. This iron, I don't know if we can technically count as being automated. I mean, we do have the melter set up for it, right? And we have the input slot spaced out for it. We're just not taking it from the iron nugget farm over there. You know what? We'll take it off. We're definitely going to come back to this though. We can't leave it like this. But once we have our silver coin automation fully up and running, I mean, we can next episode now that we have our brass machinery. For some reason it wanted copper cans for the quest. But yeah, we also have the electron tubes. Okay, and the screwdrivers, I mean, we're going to pick up the unbreakable one soon. I'm not sure how far away we are from that, to be honest. However, we are, I guess, tentatively able to tick off precision mechanisms. And a brass machine. We can't make these yet, so I guess that was kind of cheating that we... Well, we have 12, I guess, available. Yeah, there's another brass machine for our quest. We get some nice goodies for that, which will fill up our inventory, so... Yeah, I mean, we're really, really close to finishing Chapter 2, all in one day, actually. Which is a bit surprising. But we do still have to set up the brass, that's right. The brass automation is something I think we'll put in this corner here. Or maybe not, actually. Maybe we want brass elsewhere. I'll have to do some thinking about that. And we'll also have to figure out a better power source for this charger. But anyways, I think this is a good wrapping up point for this episode. I really enjoyed today. I'm having so much fun in this pack now. Keep leaving your feedback in the comments. I really enjoy reading those, even though it makes me feel a little bit silly sometimes. But yeah, you know what? We're getting there. We're getting there. And now that we have these two mechanisms mostly automated, building the rest of our factory out should become a lot easier. I would like to get some more building done though. We've kind of been neglecting that. I mean, I've made sure that we have flooring in and tried to line things up. But yeah, there's still a lot more work on this place. All of the ceilings and walls need done. So I think that's something we're going to work out and tackle sooner rather than later. Also, throughout this episode, we're almost on 2 drawers worth of silver coins, which is crazy. I may have to actually replace this drawer soon. But yeah, I mean, this really costs us nothing. This is just passive silver coin generation. But anyways, that is going to do us for today. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more Create Above and Beyond.